Late game. So, phase door. Conjuration, creation, level, sorcerer, wizard 7, travel 8. Components, V, casting time, 1 standard action. Range, 0 feet. Effect, ethereal 5 feet by 8 feet opening, 10 feet deep plus 5 feet deep per 3 levels. Duration, 1 usage per 2 levels. Saving throw, none. Spell resistance, no. This spell creates an ethereal passage through wooden, plaster, or stone walls, but not other materials. The phase door is invisible and inaccessible to all creatures except you, and only you can use the passage. You disappear when you enter the phase door and appear when you exit. If you desire, you can take one other creature, medium or smaller, through the door. This counts as 2 uses of the door. The door does not allow light, sound, or spell effects through it. It says 1 usage per 2 levels. Sorcerer Wizard 7, travel 8. So if you're level 8, you can use it 4 times. The door does not allow light, sound, or spell effects through it, nor can you see through it without using it. Thus, the spell can provide an escape route, though certain creatures such as phase spiders can follow these. A gem of true seeing or similar magic reveals the presence of a phase door, but does not allow its use. A phase door is subject to dispel magic. If anyone is within the passage when it is dispelled, he is harmlessly ejected, just as if he were inside a pass wall effect. You can allow other creatures to use the phase door by setting some triggering condition for the door. Such conditions can be as simple or elaborate as you desire. They can be based on a creature's name, identity, or alignment, but otherwise must be based on observable actions or qualities. Intangibles such as level, class, hit dice, and hit points don't qualify. Phase door can be made permanent with a permanency spell, which is an extremely difficult spell. Spells cast. There's XP cost. There's all sorts of. Yeah, there's a ton of XP cost. You have to be very, very high level to do phase door. 15th level and 3,500 XP cost. Okay, so first I'll read. Planar ally, lesser. Conjuration, calling. See text. Level cleric 4. Components of VS, DF, XP. Casting time 10 minutes. Range. Close. 25 feet plus 5 feet per 2 levels. Effect. When called elemental or outsider of 6 hit dice or less. Duration, instantaneous. Saving throw, none. Spell resistance, no. By casting this spell, You request your deity to send you an elemental or outsider of 6 hit dice or less of the deity's choice. If you serve no particular deity, the spell is a general plea answered by a creature sharing your philosophical alignment. If you know an individual creature's name, you may request that individual by speaking the name during the spell, though you might get a different creature anyway. You may ask the creature to perform one task in exchange for a payment from you. Tasks might range from the simple to the complex. You should keep livestock if you're a cleric. So, you must be able to communicate with the creature called in order to bargain for its services. The creature called requires a payment for its services. The payment can take a variety of forms, from donating gold or magic items to an allied temple, to a gift given directly to the creature, to some other action on your part that matches the creature's alignment and goals. Regardless, this payment must be made before the creature agrees to perform any services. The bargaining takes at least one round, so any actions by the creature begin in the round after it arrives. A task taking up to 1 minute per caster level requires a payment of 100 gold pieces per HD of the creature called. For a task taking up to 1 hour per caster level, the creature requires a payment of 500 gold pieces per dice. A long-term task, while requiring up to 1 day per caster level, requires a payment of the payment of 1,000 gold pieces per hit dice. So a payment of 1,000 at least. A non-hazardous task requires only half the indicated payment, while an especially hazardous task might require a greater gift. Few, if any, creatures will accept the task. That seems suicidal. Remember, a called creature actually dies when it is killed, unlike a summoned creature. However, if the task is strongly aligned with the creature's ethos, it may have or even waive the payment. At the end of its task, or when the duration bargained for expires, the creature returns to its home plane, after reporting back to you, if appropriate, when possible. Note, when you use a calling spell that calls an air, chaotic, earth, evil, fire, good, lawful, or water creature, it is a spell of that type. XP cost 100 XP. Planar ally. Conjuration calling. Level Cleric 6. Effect 1 or 2 called elementals or outsiders totaling no more than 12 hit dice, which cannot be more than 30 feet apart when they appear. This spell functions like Lesser Planar Ally, except you may call a single creature of 12 hit dice or less, or 2 creatures of the same kind, whose hit dice total no more than 12. The creatures agree to help you and request your return payment together. XP cost 250 XP. Planar Ally Greater. Conjuration Calling. Cleric 8. Up to 3 called elementals or outsiders totaling no more than 18 hit dice, no 2 of which can be more than 30 feet apart when they appear. This spell functions like Lesser Planar Ally, except that you may call a single creature of 18 hit dice or less, or up to 3 creatures of the same kind whose hit dice total no more than 18. The creatures agree to help you and request your return payment together. XP cost 500 XP. Planar Binding. Conjuration Calling. Let's see text for Lesser Planar Binding. Sorcerer Wizard 5, Sorcerer Wizard 6, components BS, casting time 10 minutes. Targets up to 3 elementals or outsiders, totaling no more than 12 hit dice, no 2 of which can be more than 30 feet apart when they appear. No. Greater, Sorcerer Wizard 8, components VS, targets up to 3 elementals or outsiders, totaling more than 18 hit dice, no 2 of which can be more than 30 feet apart when they appear. No and yes. Will negates, instantaneous. Target 1 elemental or outsider with 6 hit dice or less. Casting this spell attempts a dangerous act. To lure a creature from another plane to a specifically prepared trap, which must lie within the spell's range. The called creature is held in the trap until it agrees to perform one service in return for its freedom. To create the trap, you must use a magic circle spell focused inward. The kind of creature to be bound must be known And stated, if you wish to call a specific individual, you must use that individual's proper name in casting the spell. The target creature is allowed a will saving throw. If the saving throw succeeds, the creature resists the spell. If the saving throw fails, the creature is immediately drawn to the trap. Spell resistance does not keep it from being called. The creature can escape from the trap by. It says with by. The creature can escape from the trap with by, successfully pitting its spell resistance against your caster level check, bi-dimensional travel, or with a successful charisma check, DC 15 plus 1/2 your caster level plus your charisma modifier. It can try. Sorcerer Wizard 5, so it can try each method once per day. If it breaks loose, it can flee or attack you. A dimensional anchor cast on the creature prevents its escape via calling diagram. See Magic Circle against evil to make the trap more secure. The spell functions like Lesser Planar Binding, except that you may call a single creature of 12 hit dice or less, or up to 3 creatures of the same kind whose hit dice total more than 12. Each creature gets to save, makes an independent attempt to escape, and must be individually persuaded to aid you. Planar Binding Greater. This spell functions like Lesser Planar Binding, except you call a single creature of 18 hit dice or less, or up to 3 creatures of the same kind whose hit dice total no more than 18. Each creature gets a saving throw, makes an independent attempts to escape, and must be persuaded to aid you individually. Maybe I should read the Ars Goetia after this. If the creature does not break free of the trap, you can keep it bound for as long as you dare. You can attempt to compel the creature to perform a service by describing the service and perhaps offering some sort of reward. You make a charisma check opposed by the creature's charisma check. The check is assigned to a bonus of +0 to +6 based on the nature of the service and the reward. If the creature wins the opposed check, it refuses service. New offers, bribes, and the like can be made, or the old ones re-offered every 24 hours. This process can be repeated until the creature promises to serve, until it breaks free, or until you decide to get rid of it by means of some other spell. Impossible demands or unreasonable commands are never agreed to. You roll a 1 on a charisma check, the creature breaks free of the binding and can escape or attack you. Once the requested service is completed, the creature need only so inform you to be instantly sent back whence it came. The creature might later seek revenge. If you assign some open-ended task that the creature cannot complete through its own actions, the spell remains in effect for a maximum of 1 day per caster level, and the creature gains an immediate chance to break free. Note that a clever recipient can subvert some instructions. When you use a calling spell to call an air chaotic, earth, fire, evil, good, lawful, or water creature, it is a spell of that type. Plane shift. Conjuration, teleportation, level, cleric 5, sorcerer wizard 7. Components, VSF. Casting time, one standard action, range, touch. Target creature touched, or up to 8 willing creatures joining hands. Duration, instantaneous. Saving throw, will negate. Spell resistance, yes. You move yourself or some other creature to another plane of existence or alternate dimension. If several willing persons link hands in a circle, as many as 8 can be affected by the plane shift at the same time. Precise accuracy as to a particular arrival location on the intended plane is 9 possible. From the material plane, you can reach any other plane, though you appear 5 to 500 miles, 5d% from your intended destination. Okay, so you can't actually get to where you're trying to go. Good morning. awake boy likes the music. Note, plane shift transports creatures instantaneously and then ends. The creatures need to find another means if they are to travel back. Focus a small forked metal rod. The size and the metal type dictates to which plane of existence or alternate dimension the spell sends the affected creatures. Really? Can I get more information on that? It's okay. Plant growth. Transmutation level. Druid 3, Plant 3, Ranger 3. Yeah, it's more like it. Components. VS, DF. Casting time. 1 standard action. Range. See text. Target area. Duration. Instantaneous. See text. 7 throw. None. Spell resistance. No. Plant growth has different effects depending on the version chosen. Overgrowth. This effect causes normal vegetation, grasses, briars, bushes, creepers, thistles, trees, vines within long range, 400 feet plus 40 feet per cast level, to become thick and overgrown. The plants entwine to form a thicket or jungle that creatures must hack or force a way through. Speed drops to 5 feet or 10 feet for large or larger creatures. The area must have brush and trees in it for this spell to take effect. At your option, the area can be a 100-foot radius circle, a 150-foot radius semicircle, or a 200-foot radius quarter circle. You may designate places within the area that are not affected. Enrichment. This effect targets plants within a range of 1/2 mile, raising their potential productivity over the course of the next year to 1/3 above normal. Plant growth counters diminish plants. This spell has no effect on plant creatures. I gotta go back to diminish plants real quick, and it's what you can use to make a well manicured garden. Command plants. Good morning. Good morning. Some command plants, transportation level, Druid 4, Plant 4, Ranger 3. Components VS, how much range close, 25 feet plus 5 feet. 2 levels. Targets up to 2 hit dice per level of plant creatures. No 2 of which can be more than 30 feet apart. Duration 1 day per level. Saving throw when the gate spell resistance. Yes, this spell has use some degree of control over 1 or more plant creatures. Affected plant creatures can understand you, and they perceive your words and actions in the most favorable way. Treat their attitude as friendly. They will not attack you while the spell lasts. You can try to give subject orders, but you must win in a post-charisma check to convince it to do anything it wouldn't ordinarily do. Retry is not allowed. A commanded plant never obeys suicidal, obviously harmful orders, but it might be convinced that something very dangerous is worth doing. You can affect a number of plant creatures whose combined level or HP do not exceed twice your level. But that wasn't the one we were looking for. Cold. Control. I went too far to the seas. Death Ward, Death Watch, Death Knell. Destruction. Detect Evil. Detect Scrying. Detect Dictum. Discern. Disguise. Disintegrate. Diminish plants. Transmutation. Druid 3, Ranger 3. Components VS, DF. 1 standard action. See text. See text. Duration instantaneous. Saving throw, no. Spell resistance, none. This spell has 2 versions. Prune growth. This version causes normal vegetation within long range, 400 feet plus 40 feet per level, to shrink to about 1/3 of their normal size, becoming untangled and less bushy. The affected vegetation appears to have been carefully pruned and trimmed. At your option, the area can be a 100-foot radius circle, a 100-foot radius semicircle, or 200-foot radius quarter circle. You may also designate portions of the area that are not affected. Stunted growth. This version targets normal plants within range of a half mile. reducing their potential productivity for over the course of the following year into 1/3 below normal. Diminished plants counters plant growth. Spells no effect on plant creatures. So, we're back at plant growth. Poison, necromancy, level, cleric 4, druid 3. This is druid 3, plant 3, ranger 3. Cleric 4, druid 3. Components VS, DF. Casting time 1 standard action. Range touch. Target living creature touch. Duration instantaneous. See text. Saving throw. Fortitude negates. See text. Spell resistance, yes. Calling upon the venomous powers of natural predators, you infect the subject with a horrible poison by making a successful melee touch attack. The poison deals 1d10 points of temporary constitution damage immediately, and another 1d10 points of temporary constitution damage 1 minute later. Each instance of damage can be negated by a fortitude save. DC 10 plus 1/2 your cast level plus your was the modifier. Constitution damage 1 minute later. Each instance of damage can be negated by a fortitude save. DC 10 plus half your cast level plus your wisdom modifier. Polar Ray, Evocation, Cold, Level, Sorcerer Wizard 8, Components, VSF, Casting Time, 1 standard action, Range, Close, 25 feet plus 5 feet per 2 levels, Effect, Ray, Duration, Instantaneous, Raving, Throw none, Spell Resistance, yes. A blue-white ray of freezing air and ice springs from your hand. You must succeed on a ranged touch attack with the ray to deal damage to a target. The ray deals 1d6 points of cold damage per caster level, maximum 25d6. Focus, a small white ceramic cone or prism. So for Polar Ray, Sorcerer Wizard 8. So if Osric has a small white ceramic cone or prism, he can instantaneously cast a blue-white ray of freezing air and ice. You must succeed on a ranged touch attack while the ray to deal damage to a target. The ray deals 1d6 points of cold damage per caster level, maximum 25d6. So be careful when you cast Polar Ray. Ooh, this is sweet, baby. Stop. Okay. No, but we do know that. Polymorph. Transmutation. Level Sorcerer Wizard 4. Components VSM. Casting time 1 standard action. Range touch. Target. Willing living creature touch. Duration 1 minute per level. Saving throw none. Spell resistance no. This spell functions like alter self, except you can change the willing subject into another form of living creature. Polymorph. The new form may be of the same type as the subject or any of the following types. Aberration, animal, dragon, fey, giant, humanoid, magical beast, monstrous humanoid, ooze, plant, or vermin. The assumed form can't have more hit dice than your caster level or the subject's hit dice, whichever is lower, to a maximum of 15 hit dice at 15th level. You can't cause a subject to assume a form smaller than fine, nor can you cause a subject to assume an incorporeal or gaseous form. The subject's creature type and subtype, if any, change to match the new form. Upon changing, the subject regains lost hit points as if it had rested for a night, though this healing does not restore temporary ability damage and provide other benefits of resting, and changing back does not heal the subject further. If slain, the subject reverts to its original form, though it remains dead. The subject gains the strength, dexterity, and constitution scores of the new form, but retains its own intelligence, wisdom, and charisma scores. It also gains all extraordinary special attacks possessed by the form, but does not gain the extraordinary special qualities possessed by the new form or any supernatural or spell-like abilities. Incorporeal or gaseous creatures are immune to being polymorphed, and a creature with a shape changer subtype can revert to its natural form as a standard action. Material component: an empty cocoon. Sorcerer Wizard 4. So Osric wants you to go on a quest and get him some cocoons. Go find me some cocoons. Let's go find some butterfly cocoons. And it's all really a lesson on butterflies. So you could turn them into an aberration, an animal, a dragon. I bet you he would turn people into dragons to fight for him. Fey, giant, turn someone into a giant. Humanoid, magical beast. Monstrous humanoid, ooze, plant, or vermin. I could see him turning creatures into oozes. That would be something. Turn them into oozes. Target duration 1 minute per level. Yeah, turning himself into a dragon or a ooze would be something. Polymorph any object. Transmutation level, Sorcerer Wizard 8, Trickery 8, Components VSMDF. Casting time 1 standard action range, close 25 feet plus 5 feet per 2 hours. Target 1 creature or 1 non-magical object of up to 100 cubic feet per level. Duration, see text. Saving throw, Fortitude negates, object, see text. Spell resistance, yes, object. This spell functions like polymorph, except that it changes one object or creature into another. The duration of the spell depends on how radical a change is made from the original state to its enchanted state. The duration is determined by using the following guidelines. Increase to duration factor. Change subject is same kingdom, animal, vegetable, mineral, plus 5. Same class, mammals, fungi, metals, etc. plus 2. Same size, plus 2. Related, twig is to tree. Wolf fur is to wolf, etc. plus 2. Same or lower intelligence, plus 2. All that apply, look up the total on the next tape. Duration factor 0, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 plus. Duration 20 minutes. Example, pebble to human. 2, 1 hour. Duration 1 hour. Marionette to human. 3 hours. Human to marionette. 5, 12 hours. Lizard to manticore. 6, 2 days. Sheep to wool coat. Okay. 1 week. Shrew to manticore. Permanent. Manticore to shrew. What? Unlike polymorph any object does grant the creature the intelligence score of its new form. If the original form didn't have a wisdom or charisma score, it gains those scores as appropriate for the new form. Sheep to wool coat. What about wool coat to sheep? Turn a wool coat into a sheep. But sheep to wool coat? I mean, that's messed up. No, okay, if you want your sheep to keep living and you want to use it as a coat for a couple days, and then let it go back to grazing after that. Okay. This grant the teacher intelligence score was in the form if the original form didn't have a wisdom or charisma score. It was a sheep. Marionette to human, 1 hour. It gains these scores as appropriate for the new form. Damage taken by the new form can result in injury or death of the polymorphed creature. In general, damage occurs when the new form is changed through physical force. A non-magical object cannot be made into a magic item with this spell. Magic items aren't affected by this spell. This spell cannot create material of great intrinsic value such as copper, silver, gems, silk, gold, platinum, mithril, or adamantine. It also cannot reproduce the special properties of cold iron in order to overcome the damage reduction of certain creatures. This spell can also be used to duplicate the effects of polymorph flesh to stone, stone to flesh, transmute mud to rock, transmute water to dust, or transmute rock to mud. So polymorph any object. Polymorph flesh to stone, stone to flesh, transmute mud to rock, transmute water to dust, or transmute rock to mud. Arcane material component: mercury, gum arabic, and smoke. I was going to go find some gum arabic. Power word: blind, enchantment, compulsion, mind affecting. A power word: blind, enchantment, compulsion, mind affecting. Level sorcerer wizard 7, warrior 7. Components: V. Casting time, 1 standard action. Range, close, 25 feet plus 5 feet per 2 casting levels. Target, 1 creature with 200 HP or less. Duration, see text. Saving throw, non-spell resistance, yes. You utter a single word of power that causes 1 creature of your choice to become blinded. That's terrifying. Whether the creature can hear the word or not, the duration of the spell depends on the target's current hit point total. Any creature that currently has 201 or more hit points is unaffected by power word blind. Hit points 50 or less, permanent 51 to 100, 1d4 plus 1 minutes, 101 to 200, 1d4 plus 1 rounds, which are 6 seconds. A round is 6 seconds. But a little 50 or less hit point kitten is permanently blinded as evil. Power word: kill, enchantment, compulsion, death, mind affecting. Level sorcerer wizard 9, warrior 9. Components: V. Casting time, 1 standard action. Range, close, 25 feet plus 5 feet per 2 levels. Target 1 living creature with 100 HP or less. Duration, instantaneous. Saving throw, 9. Spell resistance, yes. You utter a single word of power that instantly kills 1 creature of your choice, whether the creature can hear the word or not. Any creature that currently has 101 hit points or more hit points is unaffected by power word kill. That poor little 50 hit point kitten. Oh no. Power word: stun. Enchantment, compulsion, mind effect. Level sorcerer wizard 8, word 8. Components: V. Casting time, 1 standard action. Range, close, 25 feet plus 5 feet per 2 levels. Target 1 creature with 150 HP or less. Duration, see text. Saving throw, none. Spell resistance, yes. You utter a single word of power that instantly causes 1 creature of your choice to become stunned, whether the creature can hear the word or not. The duration of the spell depends on the target's current hit points total. Any creature that currently has 151 or more hit points is unaffected by power word stun. Hit points 50 or less. Duration 4d4 rounds. 51 to 100 for 2d4 rounds. 101 to 150 1d4 rounds. 50 or less. 4d4 rounds. Terrible. Prayer. Enchantment. Compulsion. Mind affecting. Level. Cleric 3. Paladin 3. Components. VSDF. Casting time. 1 standard action. Range 40 feet. This is prayer area. All allies and foes within a 40-foot radius. A burst centered on you. Duration 1 round per level. Saving throw. None. Spell resistance. Yes. You bring special favor upon yourself and your allies while bringing disfavor to your enemies. You and each of your allies. You and your allies. Each of your you and each of your allies. Okay, so you and your allies each gain. It still saying like each of your, like they were gonna put you and your allies, but then they added each of your and didn't erase that your when they were editing. Page 329, typo. A pretty bad syntax typo. You and your allies each gain a +1 luck bonus on attack rolls. Weapon damage rolls, saves, and skill checks, while each of your foes take a -1 penalty on such rolls. We just get this your out of there. It was you and each of your allies. Or it could be you and your allies each gain. Each is a funny word. Prestidigitation. Universal level Bard 0, Sorcerer Wizard 0. Components VS. Casting time 1 standard action. Range 10 feet. Target effect or area. See text. Duration 1 hour. Saving throw. See text. Spell resistance. No. Prestidigitations are minor tricks that novice spellcasters use for practice. Yes, there certainly will be a lot of that going on in the campaign. Once cast, a prestidigitation spell enables you to perform simple magical effects for 1 hour. The effects are minor and have severe limitations. A prestidigitation can slowly lift 1 pound of material. It can color, clean, or soil items in a 1-foot cube each round. It can chill, warm, or flavor 1 pound of non-living material. It cannot deal damage nor affect the concentration of spellcasters. Prestidigitation can create small objects, but they look crude and artificial. The materials created by a prestidigitation spell are extremely fragile and they cannot be used as tools, weapons, nor spell components. Finally, a prestidigitation lacks the power to duplicate any other spell effects. Any actual change to an object beyond just moving, cleaning, or soiling it persists only 1 hour. This says 1d8 color beam in effect, so there's a beam somewhere. Prismatic Sphere. Abjuration. Level Protection 9. Sorcerer Wizard 9. Sun 9. Components V. Range 10 feet. Effect 10-foot radius sphere centered on you. This spell functions like prismatic wall, except you conjure up an immobile, opaque globe of shimmering, multicolored light that surrounds you and protects you from all forms of attack. The sphere flashes in all colors of the visible spectrum. The sphere's blindness effect on creatures with less than 8 hit dice lasts 2d4 by 10 minutes, times 10 minutes. 2d4 times 10 minutes. You can pass into and out of the prismatic sphere and remain near it without harm. However, when you're inside it, the sphere blocks any attempt to project something through the sphere, including spells. Other creatures that attempt to attack you or pass through suffer the effects of each color, one at a time. Typically, only the upper hemisphere of the globe will exist, since you are at the center of the sphere, so the lower half is usually excluded by the floor surface you are standing on. So imagine if you were standing on some kind of tall platform. And if you were on a platform or on a bridge, these colors of the sphere have the same effects as the colors of a prismatic wall. Prismatic spheres can be made permanent with a permanency spell. Right. King sites prismatic wall. 16th level, 4,000 XP cost. Yeah, made permanent with a permanency spell at the cost of 4,000 XP. Prismatic spray, evocation, sorcerer wizard 7, components VS, casting time 1, standard action, range 60 feet, area cone shape burst, duration instantaneous, saving throw, see text, spell resistance, yes. One D8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Color of beam: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. Effect: 20 points fire damage, reflex half. 40 points acid damage, reflex half. 80 points electricity damage, reflex half. Poison kills, fortitude partial. Take 1d6 points of constitution damage instead. Blue, turn to stone, fortitude negates. Indigo, insane, an insanity spell. Will violet, sent to another plane, will negates. Struck by 2 rays, roll twice more, ignoring any 8 results. This spell causes 7 shimmering, intertwined, multicolored beams of light to spray from your hand. Each beam has a different power. Creatures in the area of this spell with 8 hit dice or less are automatically blinded for 2d4 rounds. Every creature in the area is randomly struck by 1 or more beams, which have additional effects. Prismatic wall, abjuration. Level, sorcerer wizard 8. Components: VS, casting time 1, standard action, range close 25 feet plus 5 feet per 2 levels. Effect: wall 4 foot per level wide, 2 foot per level high. Duration 10 minutes per level. Saving throw, see text, spell resistance, see text. Prismatic wall creates a vertical opaque wall, a shimmering multicolored plane of light that protects you from all forms of attack. The wall flashes with 7 colors, each of which has a distinct power and purpose. The wall is immobile and you can pass through and remain near the wall without harm. However, any other creature with less than 8 hit dice that is within 20 feet of the wall is blinded for 2d4 rounds by the colors of it if it looks at the wall. The wall's maximum proportions are 4 feet wide per caster level and 2 feet high per caster level. Let's see. The sorcerer was at 8, so 4 feet wide. So 4 times 8 and 2 times 8. So what is it, 48? 48? And 8 times 2 is, no, 8 times 2 is 16. Yeah. 16 feet high, 48 feet wide, and painted all rainbowy in like a swirl. So on this scale, this would be right here, 48 feet. So it'd be a piece of cardboard this tall, 16, up to here. That big. Right, I can draw that. This ain't big enough. This one's almost big enough. Oh, it's too big that way. So say a 10-foot wizard. Oh, 10 foot. This is I can't remember. 16. Okay. And this array is 48. So this is the prismatic wall. Of a level 8 wizard. This big. At scale. Hypercrystal. A prismatic wall spell cast to materialize in a space occupied by a creature is disrupted. Until the space occupied, and the spell is wasted. Each color in the wall has a special effect. The accompanying table shows the 7 colors of the wall, the order in which they appear, their effect on creatures trying to attack you or pass through the wall, and the magic needed to negate each color. The wall can be destroyed color by color in consecutive order by various magical effects. However, the first color must be brought down before the second can be affected, and so on. A Rod of Cancellation, or a Mage's Disjunction spell, destroys a prismatic wall, but an anti-magic field fails to penetrate it. Dispel magic and greater dispel magic cannot dispel the wall or anything beyond. Spell resistance is effective against a prismatic wall, but the caster level check must be repeated for each color present. Prismatic wall can be made permanent with a permanency spell. 4,000 XP cost, 16th level. So if you're a level 8 wizard and you cast Prismatic Wall, it's that big. But to cast it permanently, you need to be level 16. And it costs 4,000 XP. So, color, red, order. First, effect, color stops non-magical ranged weapons, deals 20 points of fire damage, reflects half, negated by cone of cold. Orange, second, stops magical ranged weapons, deals 40 points of acid damage, reflects half, negated by gust of wind. Yellow, third, stops poisonous gases and petrification, deals 80 points of electricity damage, reflects half, negated by disintegrate. Green, fourth, stops breath weapons, poison, kills fortitude partial for 1d6 points of constitution damage instead, negated by pass wall. Blue, fifth, stops divination and mental attacks, turn to stone, fortitude negate, magic missile. Indigo, sixth, stops all spells, will save or become insane, an insanity spell, negated by daylight. Violet, seventh, energy field destroys all objects and effects creatures sent to another plane, will negates, negated by dispel magic. The violet effect makes the special effects of the other 6 colors redundant, but these 6 effects are included here because certain magic items can create prismatic effects 1 color at a time, and spell resistance might render some colors ineffective. See, saving throw, none. Spell resistance. Okay, hang on. That's produce flame, evocation fire, level druid 1, fire 2. Components VS, casting time 1 standard action. Range 0 feet, effect flame in your palm. Duration 1 minute per level. Saving throw none. Flames as bright as a torch appear in your open hand. These flames harm neither you nor your equipment. In addition to providing illumination, the flames can be hurled or used to touch enemies. You can strike an opponent with a melee touch attack, dealing fire damage equal to 1d6 plus 1 point per caster level, maximum +5. Alternatively, you can hurl the flames up to 120 feet as a thrown weapon. When doing so, you attack with a ranged touch attack with no range penalty and deal the same damage as with the melee attack. No sooner do you hurl the flames than a new set appears in your hand. Each attack you make reduces the remaining duration by 1 minute. So, duration 1 minute per level. If an attack reduces the remaining duration to 0 minutes unless the spell ends after the attack resolves, the spell does not function underwater. So, realistically, a druid can create like a little pile of dry, wood for like a little fireplace, a little pile of stones, a little pile of wood, and then cast this at the wood, and it, is a nice campfire. Alternatively, they can hurl the flames into a nice fireplace that's set up that way, and it's a nice, chimney fire, nice fireplace fire, very cozy. Should be a quest to go and learn this. If you're going to be a level 1 druid, you gotta go on a quest to, a volcano or something. Forest fire. Programmed image. Illusion, figment, level bard 6, sorcerer wizard 6. Effect, visual figment that cannot extend beyond a 20-foot cube plus 1 10-foot cube per level. S. Duration, permanent until triggered. Then 1 round per level. No, permanent till triggered. And then 1 round per level. This spell functions like a silent image, except that this spell's figment activates when a specific condition occurs. The figment includes visual, auditory, olfactory, and thermal elements, including intelligible speech. You set the triggering condition, which may be a special word, when casting the spell. The effect that triggers the illusion can be as general or as specific and detailed as desired, but must be based on an audible, tactile, olfactory, or visual trigger. The trigger cannot be based on some quality not normally obvious to the senses' alignment. See Magic Mouth for more details about such triggers. You can set Magic Mouth on a statue and be like, "Good morning, come in, welcome." And then you go in and program images like "Have a seat," which order from the unseen servants some wine. Material components: a bit of fleece and jade dust worth 25 gold pieces. So a little fleece bag of jade dust, I guess. Project image, illusion, shadow, level, bard 6, sorcerer wizard 7. Components, VSM, casting time 1 standard action. Range, medium, 100 feet plus 10 feet per level. Effect, 1 shadow duplicate. Duration, 1 round per level. So could you put this in like a jar near some place, and then when someone walks by the jar, the programmed image happens. Permanent until triggered, and then 1 round per level. It's a project image, illusion, shadow. Level, bard 6, sorcerer wizard 7. Components, VSM. Casting time 1 standard action. Range, medium, 100 feet plus 10 feet per level. Effect, 1 shadow duplicate. Duration, 1 round per level. The saving throw will disbelief if interacted with. Spell resistance, no. You tap energy from the plane of shadow to create a quasi-real, illusory version of yourself. The projected image looks, sounds, and smells like you, but is intangible. The projected image mimics your actions, including speech, unless you direct it to act differently, which is a move action. You can see through its eyes and hear through its ears, as if you were standing where it is, and during your turn you can switch from using its senses to using your own, or back again as a free action. While you are using its senses, your body is considered blinded and deafened. If you desire, any spell you cast whose range is touch or greater can originate from the projected image instead of from you. The projected image can't cast any spells on itself except for illusion spells. The spells affect other targets normally, despite originating from the projected image. Objects are affected by the projected image as if they had succeeded on their will save. You must maintain a line of effect to the projected image at all times. If your line of effect is obstructed, the spell ends. If you use Dimension Door, Teleport, Plane Shift, or a similar spell that breaks your line of effect, even momentarily, the spell ends. Material component. A small replica of you, a doll, which costs 5 gold pieces to create. This is why Styx Hexenhammer has little dolls of himself. Protection from arrows. Abjuration, level Sorcerer Wizard 2, components, VSF, casting time, 1 standard action. Range, touch, target, creature touched. Duration, 1 hour per level or until discharged. Saving throw, will negate, harmless. Spell resistance, yes, harmless. New warded creature, gains resistance to ranged weapons. The subject gains damage reduction, 10 per magic against ranged weapons. This spell doesn't grant you the ability to damage creatures with similar damage reduction. Once the spell has prevented a total of 10 points of damage per caster level, maximum 100 points, it is discharged. Focus. A piece of shell from a tortoise or a turtle. So what if you made a small shield of tortoise shell? You just get a turtle shell and use it as a shield. Okay. And then the spell has prevented a total of 10 points of damage. Or it lasts for an hour. I'm just saying, Sorcerer Wizard 2, what if they put turtle shells on their armor? Protection from chaos. I think Osric would start going looking for turtles and tortoises to keep in his gardens. Protection from chaos. Abjuration, lawful, level cleric 1, law 1, paladin 1, sorcerer wizard 1. This spell functions like protection from evil, except that the deflection and the resistance bonuses apply to attacks from chaotic creatures, and chaotic summon creatures cannot touch the subject. So that's perfect. Protection from chaos. Abjuration, lawful. Cleric, law, pal, sorcerer wizard 1. Protection from energy. Abjuration, level cleric, druid. Cleric 3, druid 3, luck 3, protection 3, ranger 2, sorcerer wizard 3. Protection from energy. Level. Components. VS, DF. Casting time. 1 standard action. So level 3 or ranger level 2. Casting time. 1 standard action. Range touch. Target creature touch. Duration 10 minutes per level or until discharge. Saving throw. Fortitude negates. Harmless. Spell resistance. Yes. Harmless. Protection from energy grants temporary immunity to the type of energy you specify when you cast it. Acid, cold, electricity, fire, or sonic. When the spell absorbs 12 points per caster level of energy damage to a maximum of 120 points at 10th level, it is discharged. Note, protection from energy overlaps and does not stack with resist energy. So, protection from energy overlaps resist energy and does not stack. If a character is warded by protection from energy and resist energy, the protection spell absorbs damage until its power is exhausted. Resist energy. Abjuration. Cleric. Level Cleric 2, Druid 2, Fire 3, Paladin 2, Ranger 1, Sorcerer Wizard 2. Components VSD. Casting time 1 standard action. Range touch. Target creature touch. Duration 10 minutes per level. Saving throw, fortitude, negate. Harmless. Spell resistance, yes, harmless. This abjuration grants a creature limited protection from damage of whichever one of 5 energy types you select: acid, cold, electricity, fire, or sonic. The subject gains energy resistance 10 against the energy type chosen, meaning that each time the creature is subjected to such damage, whether from a natural or magical source, that damage is reduced by 10 points before being applied to the creature's hit points. The value of the energy resistance granted increases to 20 points at 7th level and to a maximum of 30 points at 11th level. This spell protects the recipient's equipment as well. Protection from energy. Overlaps and does not stack with resist energy. If a character is warded by protection from energy and resist energy, the protection spell absorbs damage until its power is exhausted, and then resist energy comes in. It grants you temporary immunity to the type of energy you specify when you cast an acid, cold, electricity, fire, or sonic. So, hopefully, you're only being attacked by one of these at a time. Electricity, 10 minutes per level or until discharges. Duration, casting time is a standard action. So, if the wizard is gonna be attacked by the lightning from the druid, and the other way around, absorb 12 points per cast level of energy damage. Okay, you can imagine it as like this bubble shield that absorbs the damage. Protection from evil. Abjuration, good. Level cleric 1, druid, good 1, paladin 1, sorcerers 1. Components VSMDF. Casting time 1 standard action. Range, touch, target, creature, touch, duration 1 minute per level. The saving throw will negate harmless. Spell resistance, no. See text. This spell wards a creature from attacks by evil creatures, from mental control, and from summoned creatures. It creates a magical barrier around the subject at a distance of 1 foot. The barrier moves with the subject and has 3 major effects. First, the subject gains a +2 deflection bonus to AC and a +2 resistance bonus on saves. Both these bonuses apply against attacks made or effects created by evil creatures. Second, the barrier blocks any attempt to possess the warded creature by a magic jar attack, for example, or to exercise mental control over the creature. So protection from evil blocks any attempt to possess the creature, or to exercise mental control over the creature, including enchantment, charm effects, and enchantment compulsion effects that grant the caster ongoing control over the subject, such as dominate person. The protection does not prevent such effects from targeting the protected creature, but it suppresses the effect for the duration of the protection from evil effect, which is 1 minute per level. If the protection from evil effect ends before the effect granting mental control does, the would-be controller would then be able to mentally command the controlled creature. Likewise, the barrier keeps out a possessing life force but does not expel one if it is in place before the spell is cast. The second effect works regardless of alignment. This barrier blocks any attempt to possess the warded creature. Cleric. 1 good, 1 paladin, 1 sorcerer, 1. It's level 1 spell protection from evil. Protection from evil. Third, the spell prevents bodily contact by summoned creatures. This causes the natural weapon attacks of such creatures to fail and the creatures to recoil if such attacks require touching the warded creature. Good summoned creatures are immune to this effect. The protection against contact by summoned creatures ends if the warded creature makes an attack against or tries to force the barrier against the blocked creature. Spell resistance can allow a creature to overcome this protection and touch the warded creature. Arcane material component. A little powdered silver with which you trace a 3-foot diameter circle on the floor or ground around the creature to be warded. Ooh, powdered silver. Should make a floor entirely of powdered silver. Like solid silver. Big old solid silver floor, imagine it. That would certainly be useful. Floor made of silver. Keep all the vampires out. Protection from good. Abjuration, evil. Level cleric 1, evil 1, sorcerer wizard 1. Protection from good. Abjuration, evil. This spell functions like protection from evil, except that the deflection and resistance bonuses apply to attacks from good creatures, and good summoned creatures cannot touch the subject. I think you should have to have gold dust for that one. Protection from law. Abjuration, chaotic. Level chaos 1, cleric 1, sorcerer wizard 1. This spell functions like protection from evil, except that the deflection and resistance bonuses apply to attacks from lawful creatures, and lawful summoned creatures cannot touch the subject. Protection from spells. Abjuration. Level magic 8, sorcerer wizard 8. Components VS and F. Casting time 1 standard action. Range touch. Targets up to 1 creature touched per 4 levels. Duration 10 minutes per level. Saving throw will negate spell resistance. Yes. The subject gained a +8 resistance bonus on saving throws against spells and spell-like abilities, but not against supernatural and extraordinary abilities. Material component, a diamond of at least 500 gold piece of value, which must be crushed and sprinkled over the targets. How do you crush a diamond and sprinkle it over targets? Like, for real? What? What? Why a diamond? How do you crush a diamond? I mean, for real. Because that's what. But is there a magic spell for crushing a diamond? I mean, focus 1,000 gold piece diamond per creature to be granted the protection level 8 spell. Each subject must carry 1 such gem for the duration of the spell. If a subject loses the gem, the spell ceases to affect him. So they have to carry a diamond with them? I don't see why it has to be crushed and sprinkled. Could artificially made diamonds work? Could Osric be in his lab artificially creating diamonds? I just want to know. I just wonder. Prying eyes. Divination. Level Sorcerer Wizard 5. Components VSM. Casting time 1 minute. Range 1 mile. Effect 10 or more levitating eyes. Prying eyes. Divination. Sorcerer Wizard 5. So he could do this. Components VSM. Casting time 1 minute. Range 1 mile. Effect 10 or more levitating eyes. Duration 1 hour per level. See text. Saving throw none. Spell resistance none. You create a number of semi-tangible, visible magical orbs called eyes equal to 1d4 plus your caster level. These eyes move out, scout around, and return as you direct them when casting the spell. Each eye can see 120 feet, normal vision only, in all directions. Physical magical orbs. While the individual eyes are quite fragile, I think they should be look like black glass. They float around looking like black glass. Kind of like those security cameras do. Anyway. Yeah. Cast prying eyes with the little prop of the game. Materials would be just like black glass beads. Each eye can see 120 feet, normal vision only in all directions. While the individual eyes are quite fragile, they're small and difficult to spot. Each eye is a fine construct about the size of a small apple that has 1 hit point. AC 18 plus 8 bonus for its size. Flies at a speed of 30 feet with perfect maneuverability and has a plus 16 hide modifier. It has a spot modifier equal to your caster level, maximum plus 15, and is subject to illusions, darkness, fog, and any other factors that would affect your ability to receive visual information about your surroundings. An eye traveling through darkness must find its way by touch. When you create the eyes, you specify instructions you want them to follow in a command of no more than 25 words. Any knowledge you possess is known by the eyes as well. In order to report their findings, the eyes must return to your hand. Each replays in your mind all it has seen during its existence. It takes an eye 1 round to replay 1 hour of recorded images. So, the time lapse, 6 seconds, it shows you an hour. That's a hell of a time lapse. After relaying its findings, an eye disappears. If an eye ever gets more than 1 mile away from you, it instantly ceases to exist. However, your link with the eye is such that you won't know if the eye was destroyed because it wandered out of range or because of some other event. The eyes exist for up to 1 hour per caster level or until caster level 5. 1 hour per caster level, so 5 hours until they return to Dispel Magic can destroy eyes. Roll separately for each eye caught in an area dispel. Of course, if an eye is sent into darkness, it could hit a wall or similar obstacle and destroy itself. Material component, a handful of crystal marbles. Neat. Yeah, the size of marbles. So you have to have, let's see, how many are you creating? 10 or more levitating eyes. So you have to have 10 or more of these marbles. Crystal marbles. And turn them into eyes and send them out. That's neat. I like that. Prying eyes, greater. Divination, level Sorcerer Wizard 8. This spell functions like prying eyes, except that the eyes can see all things as they actually are, just as if they had true seeing, with a range of 120 feet. Thus, they can navigate darkened areas at full normal speed. Also, at greater prying eyes, maximum spot modifier is plus 25 instead of plus 15. We probably still need a bunch of crystal marbles. Divination spells. Purify food and drink. Transmutation. Level, Cleric, 0, Druid, 0. Components, VS. Casting time, 1 standard action. Range, 10 feet. Target, 1 cubic foot per level of contaminated food and water. Duration, instantaneous. Saving throw will negate object spell resistance. Yes, object. This spell makes spoiled, rotten, poisonous, or otherwise contaminated food and water pure and suitable for eating and drinking. This spell does not prevent subsequent natural decay or spoilage. Unholy water and similar food and drink of significance is spoiled by purified food and drink. But the spell has no effect on creatures of any type, nor upon magic potions. Note, water weighs about 8 pounds per gallon. 1 cubic foot of water contains roughly 8 gallons and weighs about 60 pounds. So the target of 1 cubic foot per level of contaminated food and water. So if you were 1 level, okay, so cleric and druid 0. So the first thing you learn to do when you become a druid is like this spell. They give you something rotten to make natural again, make good again. It does not prevent subsequent natural decay or spoilage. So you find some spoiled, rotten pumpkins and you have to fix them. Your druid elder comes and says, like, hey, look at this patch of pumpkins, it's rotten. You gotta cast purified food on it and make it good again. 1 cubic foot per level of contaminated food and water. So a cubic foot, that's a pumpkin. Nice big pumpkin. Nice big pumpkin. You have to purify it for practice to gain level. stay in the grove and cast purify food on the rotten pumpkins. Water weighs about 8 pounds per gallon. So if you want to lift weights really easily, all you need are gallon jugs. Does milk weigh anymore? I think milk weighs a little bit more than water. Yeah, a gallon of milk might be slightly heavier than a gallon of water. Unclear. I need a scale. So 1 cubic foot of water contains roughly 8 gallons and weighs about 60 pounds. Let's see how many gallons fit in those big pots I carry around. I carry around all these big pots of water all the time, and I think like 4 gallons fills half, so 8 gallons is probably how it fills up. But I don't fill it all the way to the top. But let's just say, let's say 6 gallons. Gallons of water weighs around 8 pounds per gallon. 6 times 8. You don't need to go to the gym to lift weights. You just need pots and pans and water. Gallon jugs. Oh, turn it on if you'd like. Pyrotechnics. Transmutation. Level. Bard 2. Sorcerer Wizard 2. Turn it on and start doing your schoolwork, please. Level. Bard 2. Sorcerer Wizard 2. Components. VSM. Casting time. 1 standard action. Range long. 400 feet plus 40 feet per level. Target 1 fire source up to a 20-foot cube. Pyrotechnics. 1 standard action. Range long. 40 feet per level. 40 feet. Fire source. Duration 1d4 plus 1 rounds. Or 1d4 plus 1 rounds after creatures leave the smoke cloud. See text. See text. Saving throw. Will negates or fortitude negates. See text. Spell resistance. Yes or no. See text. Pyrotechnics turns a fire into either a burst of blinding fireworks or a thick cloud of choking smoke, depending on the version you choose. Fireworks. The fireworks are a flashing, fiery, momentary burst of glowing colored aerial lights. The effect causes creatures within 120 feet of the fire source to become blinded for 1d4 plus 1 rounds. Will negates. These creatures must have line of sight to the fire to be effective. Spell resistance can prevent blindness. Smoke cloud. A writhing stream of smoke billows out from the source, forming a choking cloud. The cloud spreads 20 feet in all directions and lasts for 1 round per caster level. All sight, even dark vision, is ineffective in or through the cloud. All within the cloud take -4 penalties to strength and dexterity. Fortitude negates. Bard 2, Sorcerer Wizard 2. These effects last for 1d4 plus 1 rounds after the cloud dissipates or after the creature leaves the area of the cloud. Spell resistance does not apply. Material component. The spell uses 1 fire source, which is immediately extinguished. A fire so large that it exceeds a 20-foot cube is only partly extinguished. Magical fires are not extinguished, although a fire-based creature that uses a source takes 1 point of damage per caster level. So you just have to have a fire. So say the druid makes a fire in a campfire. And then just for shits and giggles, the bard, level 2 bard comes along and casts pyrotechnics on it and makes a big old smoke cloud. Let's say the wizard casted resistance. Is the druid's fire a magical fire? Probably not. Quench, transmutation. Level, Druid 3, components, VSDF, casting time, 1 standard action, range, medium, 100 feet plus 10 feet per level. Area or target, 1 20-foot cube per level S, or 1 fire-based magic item. Duration, instantaneous, saving throw, none, or will negates, object. Spell resistance, no or yes, object. Quench is often used to put out forest fires and other conflagrations. It extinguishes all non-magical fires in its area. The spell also dispels any fire spells in its area, though you must succeed on a dispel check, 1 d20 plus 1 per caster level, maximum plus 15 against each spell to dispel it. The DC to dispel such spells is 11, plus the caster level of the fire spell. So the spell also dispels such spells. Here, must succeed on a dispel check, 1 d20 plus 1 per caster level, plus 15 against each spell to dispel it. So you can cast Quench on a medium 100 foot plus 10 foot per level range. You're level 3, 30 feet. You're 1 20-foot cube. 1 fire based magic item. So level 0 druid is going to learn how to cast fireball in their hand, or cast fire in their hand. And level 3 druid has to practice Quench on the same forest fire. I think learning these spells should be their own quests. Makes sense that way. Each spell to dispel. The DC to dispel such spells is 11, plus the caster level of the fire spell. 11 plus. Each elemental fire creature within the area of a quench spell takes 1d6 points of damage per caster level, maximum 15d6. No save allowed. Alternatively, you can target the spell on a single magic item that creates or controls flame. The item loses all its fire-based magical abilities for 1d4 hours, unless it succeeds on a will save. Artifacts are immune to this effect. So if a sorcerer had a magic wand that made fire, you could make it stop working for an hour. Rage, enchantment, compulsion, mind affecting. Level, Bard 2, Sorcerer Wizard 3, components, VS, casting time, 1 standard action. Range, medium, 100 feet plus 10 feet per level. Targets, 1 willing living creature per 3 levels, no 2 of which may be more than 30 feet apart. Duration, concentration plus 1 round per level, D. Saving throw, none. Spell resistance, yes. Each affected creature gains a +2 morale bonus to strength and constitution, and a +1 morale bonus on will saves, and a -2 penalty to AC. Rage. +2 morale bonus to strength and constitution, and +1 morale bonus to will save, and a -2 penalty to AC. Armor class. The effect is otherwise identical with a barbarian's rage, except that the subjects aren't fatigued at the end of the rage. Well, that's nice. Strength and constitution. Bard 2, Sorcerer Wizard 3. Okay, so let's say the Bard casts this 1 willing living creature per 3 levels. No, 2 of which may be more than 30 feet apart. Per 3, but you get it at level 2 if you're a Bard. So I guess you can cast rage on yourself if you're a bard. And you become stronger for a moment. And we can see that becoming useful somewhere. A bard and a sorcerer out there learning to rage, attacking random shit. Rainbow pattern, illusion pattern, mind effect, level, bard 4, sorcerer wizard 4. Components, V, bard only, SMF, see text. Casting time, 1 standard action. Range, medium. 100 feet plus 10 feet per level. Effect, colorful lights with a 20-foot radius spread. Duration. Concentration plus 1 round per level. D. Saving throw will negate spell resistance. Yes. So, material component is a piece of phosphor. Focus is a crystal prism. The verbal component, a wizard or sorcerer need not utter a sound to cast a spell, but a bard must sing, play music, or recite a rhyme as a verbal component. This spell does not affect sightless creatures. A glowing rainbow-hued pattern of interweaving colors fascinates those within it. Rainbow pattern fascinates a maximum of 24 hit dice of creatures. Creatures with the fewest hit dice are affected first. Among creatures with equal hit dice, those who are closest to the spell's point of origin are affected first. An affected creature that fails to save is fascinated by the pattern. With a simple gesture, free action, you can make the rainbow pattern move up to 30 feet per round, moving its effective point of origin. All fascinated creatures follow the moving rainbow of light, trying to get or remain within the effect. Fascinated creatures who are restrained and removed from the pattern still try to follow it. If the pattern leads its subjects into a dangerous area, each fascinated creature gets a second save. If the view of the lights is completely blocked, creatures who can't see them are no longer affected. So phosphor and some crystal. Piece of phosphor and a piece of crystal. Prism. Raise Dead. Conjuration. Healing. Level. Cleric 5. Components. V, S, M, D, F. Casting time. 1 minute. Range. Touch. Target. Dead creature touched. Duration. Instantaneous. Saving throw. None. Text. Spell resistance. Yes. Harms. You restore life to a deceased creature. You can raise a creature that has been dead for no longer than 1 day per caster level. In addition, the subject's soul must be free and willing to return. If the subject's soul is not willing to return, the spell does not work. Therefore, a subject that wants to return receives no saving throw. Coming back from the dead is an ordeal. The subject of the spell loses 1 level or 1 hit die when it is raised, just as if it had lost a level or hit die due to an energy draining creature. If the subject is first level, it loses 2 points of constitution instead. If this would reduce its constitution to 0 or less, it can't be raised. This level, yeah, so clerics cannot save the bunnies. If you kill the bunnies, the clerics cannot bring them back. This level, hit dice loss or constitution loss cannot be repaired by any means. A character who died with spells repaired has a 50% chance of losing any given spell upon being raised. Okay, so this level, AC loss or constitution loss cannot be repaired by any means. A character who died with spells prepared has a 50% chance of losing any given spell upon being raised, in addition to losing spells for losing a spell, losing a level, in addition to losing spells for losing a level. Okay. If because you lose a level, you also lose the use of a spell. Then yeah. A spellcasting creature that doesn't prepare spells, such as a sorcerer, has a 50% chance of losing any given unused spell slot as if it had been used to cast a spell, in addition to losing spell slots for losing a level. A raised creature has a number of hit points equal to its current hit dice. Any ability scores damage to 0 are raised to 1. Normal poison and normal disease are cured in the process of raising the subject, but magical diseases and cures are not undone. While the spell closes mortal wounds and repairs lethal damage of most kinds. The body of the creature to be raised must be whole, otherwise missing parts are still missing when the creature is brought back to life. None of the dead creature's equipment or possessions are affected in any way by this spell. Well, yeah, it's like his sword is dead. Instantaneous, saving through, casting time 1 minute. No longer than 1 day. Okay, the creature can only be dead for a day. A creature who has been turned into an undead creature or killed by a death effect can't be raised by this spell. Constructs, elementals, outsiders, and undead creatures can't be raised. The spell cannot bring back a creature that has died of old age. Material component diamonds, worth a total of at least 5